Hi, it's Steve. Today we're going to show you how to change the door switch on your dryer, and it's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, a small flat blade screwdriver, and maybe a pair of needle nose pliers. Let me show you how we do it. Because we will be working near some electrical circuits, the first thing we'll need to do is to disconnect power to the dryer. So if it has a cord on it, simply unplug it. And if it's a hardwired dryer, you will need to locate the fuse or breaker panel and disconnect the power there. Now on this particular model, we'll begin by opening the door and removing 2 screws that go up through that front panel into the main top. Now next we can lift up on that main top and then just kind of roll it upwards to disengage it from the bottom of the control panel while pulling gently forward. That will allow us to release some hooks that fit into the bottom of that control panel mounting bracket. And they hook right into the bottom of that top panel. So we'll set that aside. Now next we're going to remove 2 Phillips screws, one on either side at the top of the front panel. And those secure the front panel to the cabinet. Now next, to remove the front panel, we'll just lift up on the drum, pull the panel forward, carefully lift it off the bottom at the front of the cabinet, and then we'll just pivot it around so that we can access the wires that are attached to the door switch and to the light circuit. Now using a small flat blade screwdriver, we're going to disengage this single wire harness connector. We just slide that flat blade in and release the locking tabs. There's one on either side. And then next we'll have to remove the brown and yellow wire that is attached to the door switch. So just pull that off. Now once we release those two, we can now pull that door panel around, remove the last wire, and then we'll open the door, and using our small flat blade screwdriver, we're just going to depress the little tabs that hold that switch to the front panel. It's held to the front panel by 2 spring type clips on the side of the switch. So we're just going to depress those and then push the switch out through the front. And we'll just support that from the front side while we depress the opposite tab. And then it will pull right out through the opening. And then we can discard the old switch. Now when we install our new one, make sure that we line up those terminals in the proper position. I'm just going to fit it through from the front, press it firmly into the front panel so that it locks into position, and then we can reconnect the rest of the wires. Now next we're going to feed those wires up in behind this plastic bracket. And then with our needle nose pliers we can reach in there and grasp that wire and pull it out through. And we'll reconnect that to the switch. Do the same with the last white one. And then the single one that has the harness connector on it. Just line up those tabs with the slots. And then press it firmly together, make sure it locks. And then we can rotate that front panel around to reinstall it. Now there are a couple of rectangular openings on the bottom of that front panel that will sit over two little tabs, one on either side at the bottom at the front of the cabinet. So then we'll just sit that front panel up on those two tabs and make sure they fit through those openings. And then as we tilt that front panel forward, we're going to lift up on the drum, make sure that it sits over the front bearing and that the guides on the side of the front panel will fit into the slots on the actual cabinet. We can hold that in place. We'll reinstall the two retaining screws. Now when reinstalling the main top on this model, we will need to engage the bottom flange of that top. Will fit right in underneath that support bracket. And we'll also need to engage these three slots with three tabs on the control panel. So we'll start by lining up those slots first. And then just pull slightly ahead so that that main top will fit under those support brackets. Push it back into position, and then we'll install the two screws through the front. So open the door up and tighten those screws securely so that we don't have any rattles. We're now ready to reconnect the power, and our repair is complete.